and welcome to Enquire to Choir. My name is Eva and I'm here to answer your questions, fellow choir people. Yeah, that's right. This is a Q&A, questions and answers. And the reason why we're doing this here on the channel is because we have 3,000 subscribers. So I wanted to celebrate a little bit in this way because I know I don't answer questions about myself here on the channel. I do not speak about my private life and the way I am, but you ask me these questions. So I thought that maybe this could be a good way to celebrate. This is not the first time we've done a Q&A. Here you can watch the first Q&A, which we did for 1,000 subscribers. That was 2 years ago. I wanted to thank you all for being here and being so supportive. I mean, the amount of lovely words I get is just unbelievable, and you have saved me so many times when I have a bad day or when I feel insecure about my choir directing, because there are days like that. I just wanted to say that all of these questions were sent to me via email. I will not share who sent the questions because I want to keep the privacy of people, but all of these questions came with lovely words attached to them when it comes to the channel, and I'm very thankful. Yeah, that's it. Let's start with the video. Question number 1 is so good. So good. What do you wear to rehearsals? What do I wear to rehearsals? It depends on the choir, because currently I have 4 choirs and the 5th is around the corner. It depends how long have I been with the choir, and it depends on the amount of people in the choir. But I try to be professional, comfortable, professional. I want to feel comfortable. I want to be able to move. I don't want to smell after the rehearsal. I want to be able to move in every way without attracting unnecessary attention. Meaning, I don't want something with my clothes that can happen to distract the choir from the work they're doing. That means that I'm always covered up. I make that a point because I don't want to think about, is something happening? I dress so I can send a message to my choir that it is important that they're there and that I respect their time with my clothes, which I know sounds a bit strict and a bit formal, but I don't mean it like that. I don't want to think about my clothes while I'm at the rehearsal. I don't think that what you wear defines who you are, but I do know that it sends a message. And if you come to the rehearsal too casually dressed and your way of working with the choir is not casual, then it's the wrong message. That said, with some choirs I am comfortable enough to come in trainers, so be comfortable, but I suggest that you are aware that you are sending a message even if it's just a rehearsal. Are your parents musicians, and how did you become a pianist? I hope my mom is watching this. We have to get serious now. I grew up with my mom. My dad passed away when I was little. You know, he was amazing. I will speak about him in present tense just to make things more simple. My parents are not musicians, but they're music lovers, and my mom has a great ear and loves music and has always put me into music. That said, they're not classical musicians. Nobody was classically trained, and I am an anomaly when it comes to that. Both of my parents are in cargo logistics, so transportation, and my mom speaks every European language, and it's a difficult job. You have to know a lot, you have to be very capable. How did I become a pianist? Well, I was in a choir when I was a kid. I started being in a choir since I was 3, and there was a piano there. And somehow one day I told my mom, I want to play the piano. And she was like, really? And I said, yeah, I want to play. I want to go to the music school. She didn't know how that goes. You know, if you're not from that world, you do not know how that goes. But she made everything happen, and we're very lucky here in Croatia. music schools are, they're not completely free, but it's very, very symbolic. It's almost free. She was able to provide that for me, and I distinctly remember that she asked me before sending the applications. She said, "Do you really want to play the piano? You were serious?" And I said, "Yeah." And I was very good at school. I really considered school to be very important. And when I started uh, playing the piano, I just, I went to all my classes. I learned a lot. I had a good professor, and it turned out that I was capable. I had a very good hand, and the years went by, and 10 years afterwards, I finished high school of music. And then it took 2 years for me to decide to go to the Academy of Music, because I was parallel to my music education. I went to a regular school and I studied mathematics and physics. So my first choice was to go to engineering, and I was already at the university for electrical engineering when I started missing piano a lot and decided that I will go to the academy as well. So I went parallelly. I went to two universities in parallel, which is a crazy thing, but I'm very grateful for it. I played a lot. I played really wonderful programs and stuff. But at some point, I realized that I don't like playing piano on my own. I don't like being alone on the stage. I love playing with someone else. I'm a very good accompanist, but I don't think I'm a very good soloist. I don't care enough to be a soloist. I just don't care about all the details, and I don't care about being, the single performer. I love interacting, and I have a few colleagues that I play piano for, and those collaborations are amazing. So, yeah, it was just, I wanted to play the piano, and my mother supported me. I'm very grateful to her, because she didn't understand the music world, but she really adapted and gave me everything I needed. And I don't think that many people get that, especially if they are not musician parents. So yeah, I'm really lucky, really, really, really lucky. And music has been everything in my life. So yeah, that's the short version. How did you go through COVID? Did your choir stop working? Yes, my choirs stopped working. I still cannot believe that all of that happened. The 2 years were very strange, and this third year of getting back into everything has been strange. It's been lovely to get back to everything, but it's strange. Everything stopped. I mentioned some stuff in the first Q&A, because the first Q&A was autumn 2020, so some of the things I have mentioned there. All of my choirs stopped working. Everything stopped. We lost performances. We lost choir members because they graduated and they left the choir. It was just really sad. When it comes to my existence financially, I took an engineering job, which is the first time in my life I have done that. That was the first time in my life that I had to switch careers because I couldn't make a living with music. I was very lucky because I was able to find a job. It was one of the few instances where the work hasn't stopped, because it's a very heavy industry. I was in charge of calibrating industrial ultrasonic instruments. So that is something that is always needed. You have to do that every year for every instrument in the area. So I was very lucky that way, and it was good for a year. I was there for a year and a half. I decided to quit my job, and I quit my job in March, and I never looked back. It was a risk. I didn't know if the music world is going to come back fully, but it did. I'm very grateful for it. It was a very successful season. Unfortunately, I lost a very close person from COVID at the height of the pandemic. That's the reason why there haven't been videos here on the channel for a very long time, and I took a really big emotional hit, so that took a while to process. And with all of that, we had two massive earthquakes here in Croatia. One was in Zagreb and one was in Sisak Petrinja, which was devastating. And just, I cannot believe that everything happened. I mean, I think we will just start processing everything that happened then. And in May, I had my concert that I was supposed to have in May of 2020. And it's a completely, for example, one of my choirs celebrated 10 years, and we celebrated 10 years when they are already 12 and a half. And it's a completely different choir. We lost so many members in those 2 years because they have moved, they switched careers, they graduated because I work with students. So it's a really big difference. And while I am very, very grateful that we were able to start singing, I was very grateful. I was very lucky when it comes to that. But I am still processing everything that happened and everything I have gone through with my family, with my friends, with my colleagues. So I think it will take time. That said, we are very lucky to be okay. I was just wondering, is the channel something you can live off of? I don't know how YouTube money goes. In one word, no. No. The way to make money here on the channel is to get monetized by YouTube for your videos to get ads. And that's how you make money. But in order to get monetized, you have to pass certain thresholds. The first threshold is to have more than 1,000 subscribers, which I passed 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. And the second is to have 4,000 hours of watch hours in the previous year. It took 5.5 years to pass those thresholds. So 2 months ago, the channel became monetized. That means that every time you get an ad on the channel, on one of my videos, I get a really, 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 really small amount of money for that. And it depends on how long you watch it for. Do you watch the entirety, which you do not? I have not been paid by YouTube still because you have to accumulate a certain amount of money in order to be paid. So I believe that it will take me another month to pass that threshold. And the amount of money that I will get then will be enough money for me to pay my phone bill every 3 months. Okay, so I believe that for every paycheck, it will take me 3 months to get it, and then I will be able to pay my phone bill. YouTube money is not something you can live off when it comes to the small channels. People make a lot of money on YouTube, but you have to really do the job, and I do not. I could make a business out of this. I could make videos very differently to be able to get more views, get more subscribers, get more money. I could, but I do not want to. That is the main difference. It is really nice to wake up every morning and see that the money I have accumulated is a bit bigger than it was yesterday. And I do cherish that because I know that that money didn't come from you. You didn't have to pay me. You just watched the videos, which I find to be a good system. But I don't want you to have to pay for anything when it comes to these videos. I don't want you to have to go to my website to get something and then I ask you to give me your email address and then you get something out of me. I don't want that to be the case. I could trick you with a lot of things when it comes to how I speak and how I arrange the things I'm speaking about in the videos, but I do not want to do that. The whole point of this channel was for me to help you. I want you to have it immediately. If you searched for something, you come to the channel and you get the answers. And the biggest benefit of that is I know you. you stay here on the channel. When somebody arrives to the channel, chances are that the person will stay, which is a very good thing, and I love that. Plus, I don't want to become a YouTuber. I have a huge respect towards YouTubers. It is so much time and effort and work and thinking and satisfying the audience. It is a really difficult job. Not as difficult, as many jobs, but it is a specific kind of a thing. But I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a choir director. I'm a musician. I don't want to make my life about talking about working with choirs. I want to work with choirs and then share my experience. So, yeah. I'm very happy that the channel is monetized. And I think that is a huge step forward, a huge acknowledgement. And it took a really long time to get there. But I'm happy that I got there in a fair way without tricking you in any way. I think that's important. This is a very personal one. Are you married and or have kids? If so, is he a musician? And the second question, which I laughed so hard, in every video your hair is different. What is your natural hair? Okay, my hair is just like you see it in the videos. That is the most natural it can be. The thing about my hair, it's obviously curly and wavy and crazy, but it depends on the weather. It depends on the day, it depends on the time of the day, it depends on the season, it depends on the humidity. The other day when we had a heat wave, it was like this. And sometimes it is very flat, like no life at all. And I'm always thinking, will you see this on the channel, on the video? Because it's growing, new hair is growing. So I'm always afraid that you will think that I do not comb my hair, which is not true. It is just what it is. I don't do anything. I don't color it. I do not do anything with it. It's just the way you see it in the video is just the way it is. And that's the most natural it can be. I mean, I understand why that would be a question, like, Eva, but it's just my hair. I don't do anything with it. It depends on the weather. It really depends on the weather, and I've struggled with it for a very long time, and then I just accepted it, and now we go along really well. Are you married? I'm not married. I do not have kids. I am in a relationship. We live together, and I'm very happy. And he's not a musician. He is an engineer. He's very supportive as well. I don't think it's easy to be with a person who is a choir director because the time schedule and the amount of people and everything about it can be challenging. But yeah, I'm very happy, and he's just great. So yeah. Do you have any regrets about the channel? And is there anything that surprised you about the channel? When it comes to regrets, I suppose you think about the videos I made, something I said, maybe about the production value and stuff. The only regret I have is a very specific one. A few days ago, I rewatched the video about choir directors getting paid, and I realized that I've said the words "I'm sorry" in that video so many times. And the worst part is, I didn't even realize that when I was editing the video. So I said "I'm sorry" so many times, and I know why I said it, because I was talking about money. That is my regret, because I don't have anything to be sorry about. I don't have any other regrets. I mean, I never got a rude comment. I once got criticism, which was fair. And I even replied to that comment saying, I agree with you. I do not show my choirs here on the channel. You will not see my rehearsals. You will not see my people from the choir because I don't want to put them on the channel. They have their privacy. And we have strict rules about that, and my choirs are my job. So it's the same, me putting a camera on my rehearsals is the same if I go to your office and put a camera and, record everything and put it online without them consenting necessarily. I won't do that. And there are other channels where you can find that. So I think that's okay. I stand by everything I have done and said, and I don't think I'm doing any harm. So I don't have any regrets. And when it comes to the visual thing, do I mind how I looked in a certain video? Of course. I'm very critical when it comes to my English, for example. There are some things I have said which are like, that's not how you say those things, Eva. But, I've done that, so it's okay. But, I think it's better to put it out there than not put anything because you want it to be perfect, and the perfection is the enemy of doing anything. So surprises, I have surprises. I have been surprised so many times. One of the biggest surprises was the choir conducting for complete beginners video being picked up by the YouTube algorithm. That is the most successful video here on the channel. I never thought that would happen. I would never have made that video if I weren't asked by one of my subscribers, by Michelle. I don't know if Michelle is still here on the channel, so if you are, hi. But she asked me to do that video, and I was like, why are you asking me? I mean, I never thought that I would be someone who could answer that question, but I wanted to be of service, and I answered that question, and it's like, oh my God, after a year, it started getting picked up, and I'm amazed by the way how YouTube works. And one of the biggest surprises about YouTube is it literally works the way they say it works. If you're consistent, if you try to target certain things when it comes to the keywords and the algorithm, what the algorithm likes, what it disapproves of, it really pays off. I mean, it's really true. And I'm very happy with the development of the channel. I'm very surprised because it was really something new when I started and I couldn't know what will happen. I knew that I wasn't going to become popular because choir, not many people search for choir as a word. The people I have met through this channel, the people I have worked with through this channel, I would have never met if it weren't for this channel. So yeah, it's been a really big surprise, the reach the channel has. And I learned a lot about the choirs in the world, other cultures, and especially it's been surprising how much I am understood here on the channel, and sometimes I'm misunderstood at my job. Getting a nice comment on a video where I explained how I do things, and you saying that is really helpful, that is really efficient, I have learned a lot, is really something that is like, okay, I'm not insane. That happens a lot because it's not easy. I'm still a younger person when it comes to choir directing, and there are other people above me when it comes to this field. And sometimes I feel like an alien, and then I have this channel. Nobody knows about this channel still. I think 15 people maybe in my life, and I don't mind it, really. I do not. I don't want them to know. It's like my secret. Finally, the question I have contemplated whether I will put it in here, but I want it to be transparent. The question is, can we work with you? I don't know what that means. In which way? For me to work with your choir, for me to work with you to become a better choir director. You can work with me. I mean, you can email me so we can discuss things. We have to, I live in Croatia, so most of the audience here is from the US. There have been collaborations before that were not here on the channel, that were separate from the channel. I was contacted by people who are working on certain things and needed consultations. So I've done that. That's really nice. So if you want to work with me in any way, just email me, and if I am able to provide good work for you, I will let you know. It's great to have this community of people. That's the main thing about this channel that is really surprising. It's just how lovely people are. Like, really, it is lovely to see because we're always bombarded with information how people are terrible, but people are actually lovely when it comes to certain things and certain positions. So yeah, I'm very happy to be here, and I feel very privileged to be recognized and appreciated in the way you appreciate the channel. Yeah, so I hope this personal Q&A is a good sign that I appreciate that you're here. Okay, so that was the Q&A. Again, thank you for being here and thank you for watching. Thank you for the 3,000 subscribers. I'm so grateful and happy, and yeah, I will cherish you and I will keep going. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking around, believing in the channel. Let's end with the phrase I always end the videos with because we don't want to lose the tradition. Conduct well, conductors, and I'll see you next time. Bye!